Welcome to the Battle of the Baddest podcast. I'm still here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's episode 11. I'm going to go and see Frank Warren today and join him here for the podcast. We're going to talk about what happened last night. Tyson Fury, of course, dropped in the third round on a spectacular event night. You really do have to say that Francis Ngannou shocked the world. That's what his mother was dancing and his sister were dancing outside their hotel to. His coach, John Bomber, saying they really set out to do that and they did shock the world. His stock rose. Tyson Fury, in my view, won't be happy with that performance. It looks like that fight with Alexander Usyk may not go ahead on December the 23rd and it may be delayed somewhat into the new year. But it was an amazing night. Always expect the unexpected in these things. It was the battle of the baddest. An incredible array of stars here this week. There's a bit of that in the podcast this week. The biggest stars of sport. I mean, the legends of boxing, but Ronaldo there and Figo, footballers, Eminem was here. It was an extraordinary week, capped off by the drama, of course, of the actual battle of the baddest fight itself. Come with me. We're going to meet Frank Warren and have a little chat. It's the morning after, the night before. Coming up on this week's episode, I speak to Frank Warren about what next for Tyson Fury and how they assess the night. We speak to Francis Ngannou's coach, who say they shocked the world. I speak to an array of people and we look back at the gala dinner from here in Riyadh. It's episode 11, Battle of the Baddest. Well, good morning, Frank. It's great to see you. The morning after the night before, as I said. It's probably 12 hours since the fight. First of all, what was your take on the fight last night with Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou?
Look, it wasn't the fight I anticipated. It was a much better fight as far as the fans was concerned. Francis Ngannou was a bit of a revelation. From Tyson's perspective, it's very difficult to train for a boxer. You've got footage of him, you've seen him fight, you can look what his strengths are and what his weaknesses are and what you can exploit and what you can't. Training for a guy in UFC, whose background is UFC, is very difficult because you don't know how he's going to fight. All you know is what he's going to bring, being that he was the lineal heavyweight champion of the UFC, that the fact he's a tough son of a gun, and that you know he can punch. And you know, more importantly, he's going to be competitive.
And he's on a win-win last night.
Well, that's what I said. Tyson has everything to lose.
All the jeopardy was on Fury,
It was all on Tyson, and the other guy had, he had nothing to lose whatsoever. Everything was for him was an upside. The perception by the media and everything that it was a mismatch, it was this and it wouldn't happen. And I said all the way through, nearly every interview I did, I said, I look at him and I think to myself, what can he do to beat Tyson? And as I said, strong, tough, competitor, best at what he does in his discipline, and he's got this. That's what he is. What I didn't expect was a guy to come out, as soon as that bell went, and I looked and see how he shaped up, and he wasn't standing like an MMA fighter, and normally stand a bit more square on. He actually shaped up like a boxer, so he was hands up, and I thought, oh, and he had not a bad jab. And then when you look back at it and you think now, with the benefit of hindsight, how did Tyson train for this guy? There's no footage of it. What he got then was the first experience he had of what this fellow would look like as a boxer. And as far as France is concerned, I mean, he's got stacks of footage of Tyson at boxing. So he knew what to expect from Tyson. And he'd done extremely well. And I think, the first few rounds, especially when he caught Tyson with that shot, and we said he was dangerous as well.
First 10 minutes, I'd always said that he'd be dangerous.
Yeah, and that's because that's where he's fighting the unexpected, Tyson. And He got caught, he got clipped with a good shot, and that's typical with Tyson. You know, he's got bloody, big heart. He's a tough guy. He got up and done what he had to do. And then as the fight went on, he started using his jab more because he wasn't using his jab himself. And he got in, and Tyson got into it. He started moving around, and I'm thinking, we know what the result is. He won, but it was for me, it's not what I wanted. For Tyson, it wasn't what but he won. He won the fight, and what it has done is unfortunately made it, we have to push back the fight with Usyk.
So you're saying not December the 23rd now?
I very much doubt.
Did he take too much?
No, well, you got to look at
punishment.
First of all, he's 35 years of age. If that fight had been over and done quickly, then
no damage to the eye.
He could have had a week off or something. Got back to camp. He's only got 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You need for. And remember, he's fighting Usyk. It's for 4 belts. He's not fighting Joe Blow from Alamo. It's a tough fight. So he's got to get into a training camp, and he's got to have a specific amount of time. So the first thing is, as he is now, it's going to take him a good couple of weeks for the healing process. Then and he needs to rest his body, and he needs to rest his mind. He's been in a long camp. I mean, it's his first fight for nearly a year, so he's been a bit rusty as well. So he'll need, when he chooses to do so, get back into camp, and on the strength of that, I think at least, you're talking the minimum of a month, maybe more, I don't know. And that will be determined by Tyson, because he's the guy getting the ring. But of course, the fight will happen, because it's been signed, and as you see in the ring, everybody wants it. But we've got to also be realistic. And the fight, and that fight will definitely happen. There's no doubt.
When do you think it will be now? Then
it won't be till early next year, very early next year. But I can't tell you because I've got to, we've got to see what the healing process is.
John Bomba, Francis Ngannou's coach, training camp. What do you got to say?
Yesterday we shook the world and we got the respect. Francis Ngannou.
Are you very happy today?
I'm so happy today, I'm really so happy. I'm so proud of our work of Francis Ngannou.
Did it go the way you expected?
Exactly. He make what we want to do. We want he shocks the world, and we do it.
He fight again in boxing? Will he fight again, Francis, in boxing? Will Francis box again? Will Francis box again against Wilder, against Joshua?
I don't know if Francis going to fight another time. I think so, and we hope so much.
This is Francis' mother and his younger sister's got 5 children, and they are dancing their way. How happy are you today? And you're good morning. You're very happy? Very happy? Sing for me then.
Le roi demande qui a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Francis il a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Le roi il a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Francis tu as gagné, c'est Ngannou. Francis qui a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Francis qui a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Le roi des rois qui a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Francis qui a gagné, c'est Ngannou. Francis qui a gagné, c'est Ngannou.
Okay, they are singing that Francis won the fight. Now I can hear French. Maman, vous êtes très contente aujourd'hui. You're very happy today. Yeah, you're very proud of your son. Orgueil de ton fille. Dans le cœur. Orgueil. Sur le film. Ouais. Bien. Il est beau aujourd'hui. Il est content.
Il est très
And so
content.
where is he? Is he upstairs in the room? Is he happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very
Do you
happy.
want him to box again? Box again? Yeah. Deontay Wilder?
Yes.
That's on tomorrow. That's on tomorrow.
Yeah. They're very beautiful people, the NGANNOUs. It's been an absolute pleasure staying here with you. Un plaisir pour moi. Merci beaucoup.
Aussi pour nous,
Oh, oui?
pour nous tous,
Yeah.
pour tout le monde entier.
Yeah. He was brilliant last night. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Merci.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Junior, you felt he won, yeah?
Yeah, of course. There's no other result, you know. The effective punches came from him. He was chasing the guy, and the guy was avoiding the fight. Much respect to Tyson Fury, but he was jabbing and avoiding the fight. Francis won the fight. There's no doubt about it.
Frank, specifically, thank you for having me into your suite today. Specifically, what did you go through in that third round when he was knocked down by that glancing left hand?
What did I go through? Shock.
Yeah.
He got caught with a very good shot, not to be expected. And I was, obviously I was worried for him because he took it. You know, Tyson's got a good chin and he got himself up. In some ways, Tyson said it was a flash knockdown, but whatever it was a knockdown. And it showed that this guy was very, very dangerous, which is what he was. He was a dangerous fighter.
From my perspective, analysing the fights, Tyson looked a bit rusty to me, and he was finding it hard to find rhythm. And you mentioned it in the build-up. You've mentioned it on here on the Battle of the Baddest podcast that there was an unorthodoxy to NGANNOU. There wasn't a lot of footage around on
There's
him.
no footage.
Yeah, so he was a surprise element, and he was far better than anyone could have anticipated.
The true fact is, his last two fights, Dillian White and Derek Chisora, he'd done a better job than both of them combined. A far better job than both of them combined.
I agree with you. He gave Tyson problems.
And I look at him and I think to myself, he would give a lot of problem. There's guys in the top 10 he would definitely beat.
Do you think, obviously Francis Ngannou's stock has risen. I'm in the same hotel as Francis, and his mother and his sister were coming out of there today singing in French that he won. It was a fairly close fight, Tyson winning by a round or a couple of rounds.
The judges go there, but I thought he won it by a couple of rounds, at least.
Yeah, but obviously the 8th round was Francis, was biggest assault on Tyson in the 8th round, and also the knockdown in the 3rd. But he was very handy from the southpaw stance, which was a surprise as well. When Tyson switched, NGANNOU switched, and I thought that was fascinating. He was actually, that assault in the 8th round came from the southpaw stance.
And I think one of the reasons for that is obviously from his MMA background. With a benefit of hindsight, because as I say, they're more like this, so they do, and so he managed to do that. But as I say, all Tyson could do was train for going. It's like training to go for the Olympic Games, boxing. I don't know who I'm going to be fighting. It's a draw. You're training for, you don't know, you're not training for a start. And now you've seen him. Now he's been in the ring with him, seen him, and he had to train for that. Yeah. It would definitely be a different Tyson.
You mentioned Francis Ngannou. Obviously, you're not promoting him, but he obviously has a relationship with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, and they've done a deal with him. What do you reckon to having Francis Ngannou, say, versus Deontay Wilder on the undercard of a Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk?
They're great fights.
It's doable, isn't it?
They're great fights to make. This, from a professional point of view, boxing point of view, we've given my views. From an event point of view, as a promoter, my God.
Yeah.
What was it? It was just fabulous from start to finish.
I wanted to ask you about that, the whole week, really.
The whole week, from day one, from the day it was announced, with those fabulous promos that were being made and going out. I've never seen promos like it.
From the Sphere in Las Vegas to the press conference in London
to the particular one, the promo where they're both hitting the walls and...
But it reached China. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was the best I've ever. That's the best promo I've ever seen for
Yeah,
a fight.
yeah.
Even for the poster and the work, everything that went into it, culminating. I mean, this week's been exciting, but culminating with the fight after that fabulous dinner that we had the night before.
Yeah,
with those champions.
extraordinary.
I mean, look how many champions. When have
Yeah.
you ever seen that?
Never. And I don't think we ever will again.
I
Yeah.
don't think we will. I mean, the amount of all those fame. I mean, that was boxing history in one room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous. But then culminating in the fight itself, the fight was just beyond brilliant.
Well, 2 venues as well. I mean, let's not forget
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
sorry, I'm saying
The event itself. Yeah.
You know, the event, the undercard was superb. It was
Yeah.
all action,
Yeah.
heavyweight action, except for one guy. All of them knockouts. Brilliant fights. Every one of them. It was just that was exciting. The crowd there got behind it, and then going into the big arena and that opening ceremony, which some people don't get. It was an opening ceremony for the big start
For the
of the
6 month
Riyadh
season, yeah.
That's
yeah.
what that was for.
Mm.
And you look at the production, the effect. I mean, my phone has just got so many messages on it. People coming back from all the people I've worked with around the world, you know, saying they have never seen anything like that.
For me as well, you know, obviously 30 plus years in the business, I've never known, well, obviously we've both been at very big events all over the world. If you put it all together this week and aggregate it, I don't think we've any time ever seen anything like it.
Never. As a promotion.
And I would say, even if you'd taken out Friday from that and the gala dinner and all the celebrities and stars, it still was bigger.
That is, without a doubt,
Yeah.
promotion.
Career highlights?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's what I felt about
Look,
it. An absolute
I'm
career
a promoter.
highlight. Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
take away the involvement with a particular fighter or
Yeah.
athlete involved in it as a promotion. Come on, that was extra special.
It really has been the battle of the baddest, hasn't
It's
it?
been the battle of the baddest, and it was, and the promotion was the goodest of the goodest.
I've got to clear this up. I saw pictures. I mean, I will say I was around. I was lucky enough to be invited to a dinner with yourself and Mike Tyson there. Mike in great form. I know that you and he haven't always got on, but there's lots of pictures of you and him hugging it out.
Well, that's the first time I've seen him for 23 years.
Was it nice to see him though?
Well, not really. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. Was it nice to see him? You know, there's no love was lost there between him. And he came over, and he put his arms around me, and then he kissed my hand, and he went, you know, and we said something which I'm not going to disclose.
Yeah.
Told him I want a rematch. No, we didn't. So I said, I didn't want to disclose. Well, I won't. And that was it. And he's, you know, he was chilled. And to his credit, he came out after the fight and said Tyson won.
Yeah.
He said that Tyson had won the fight. But, you know, it was right. Well, you can see that some of Mike Tyson rubbed off on Francis.
Definitely.
You know.
Definitely.
He definitely.
But he, you know, there was something about him. What happened for me in that fight, if I can give my analysis, is Tyson got shocked early. He had to go into a shell and recover in that round. Francis, whose mouth was open at times and he was blowing, when he got success, he got his mojo back every time.
Spurred you on.
Exactly.
But you've got to remember, again, this guy is not. It's a crossover fight.
But he's a striker, principally.
It's a crossover fight.
Yeah.
It's not what I call an influencer, YouTube influencer fighting somebody. This
Proper
is a
fighter.
proper athlete, tough guy, strong man. You know, a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner. He's got a winning mentality and a winning heart. And he went in there with another guy who's got a strong mentality and a winning heart. And that's what happened between the two of them. It was a battle of wills at the end of the day, and Tyson prevailed. But Tyson did what he had to do.
But he will have seen that as a poor performance himself,
Well,
or a disappointing
no,
performance.
what he did, I'll tell you, Tyson,
performance.
he will see that. A lot of people thought it was going to be a knockover.
Yeah.
He never thought that, Tyson, all the way through. He said,
Yeah.
I know this guy's going to be tough and he's going to be competitive, but I don't know how he fights. All those things are there, but I think he's disappointed. It's like his bar level is quite high.
Yes.
And I think having, as I'm going to repeat myself, had he, looking back on that fight, he would approach it in a different way, and I think he would, and I think it'd be a totally different fight. That's how I feel about it.
Very quickly on the other youngsters, Moses Itama, I mean, he's got eyes on him now, hasn't he?
Let me tell you something. Moses Itama, in 2 years' time, will be topping the bill here. Without a doubt, he's the best young heavyweight in the world. No doubt about it. Hand speed. Well, he's just 18, he's fighting. He's 18, teenager, 18. Is he still a teenager?
He is 18, yeah, 18.
I mean, no, are you a teenager at 18?
Yes, you are.
So
and at 19.
Right,
because
so
it's teens.
so he's a teenager fighting men.
I know, it's incredible. It's,
Fighting mature men. So he's not matured yet as
yeah.
an athlete, but his hand speed and his power at this age and his confidence are unbelievable.
and I can add another thing there, because I've got to know him recently. His discipline as well, by the way. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't go out and do things. I mean, he's got that.
He's got his own dresses.
He's got that surly attitude that sometimes that teenagers have. But I've got so much
There's
time
a bit of
for him.
Kevin about him. There's no doubt about that.
What do you mean?
You know, you remember the old Harry M film?
Oh, Kevin.
No, he's a lovely guy, and he's maturing, and it's like all of us when we're young teenagers, we all know it all, don't we? And he's learning. He's actually absorbing as a sponge, and I'm watching. And I've just watched since he's been with us. Harry's maturing.
Yeah.
And and I've talked to him over his last 2 fights. And Francis, my son who manages him, is doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, I agree.
Because France, don't underestimate what he puts into this.
Yeah.
He's done a brilliant job on this.
The other guys on the card, are you promoting Joseph Parker at the moment or not?
Well, it seems to be.
Okay. so it's obviously he had a good victory.
Yeah.
Would you expect him to maybe be in the next fight in Saudi Arabia as well?
We haven't sorted out the undercard yet.
Okay. So again, well done, Joseph Parker. He looked very sharp.
He boxed well.
I thought he boxed very well.
It's a shame. Sometimes you look at him and think maybe if he'd have been somewhere else. I'm not knocking his management or his team, but he was.
He's been a WBO world champion.
Yeah.
He went 12 rounds with Joshua and looked good that night.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done very well. I think he'll come again because he's very youthful. He's only 30 or something, Joe. It feels like he's been around forever. On the kind of the warm up, if you like, to the main event, Fabio Wardley and David Adelaide, a really exciting fight, a really powerful fight. Great victory for Fabio Wardley, got to say that. I think David Adelaide was disappointed, even though he was hurt, that he didn't get the chance to throw that final Hail Mary. But you've got to praise Fabio Wardley. I think he went through a difficult fight. David hit him with some big shots. I saw David last night as well, and he was apologising, but he was actually dealing with it all, and I think he'll come back.
Look, he's a young man, and that is how you deal with adversity.
Yeah.
Not everything goes well. When something goes wrong, you've got to sit down, think about it. Now, what do I need to make that right so it doesn't happen again? Can he do that? That's going to tell you more about him as a man and as a fighter. Can he deal with it? And we will see. Fabio done a really, really good job, a very good job, and I thought he boxed well. David, at first round, he caught him a good punch.
Oh, it was a great fight. It had the crowd on the edge of their seats.
And it's early on, he's getting the upper hand. Oh no, he's come back. He's getting But he did what he had to do, and Fabio's a tough guy.
Very tough. He proves it.
And both of them are really nice fellas. I know they had that bit of scrap, outside the ring nonsense, but they are both really nice people. Really nice people.
It was never going to go 12 rounds, that was it?
Well, we knew that.
Yeah. Umar, can you see how long there's left on there?
2 minutes.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, Frank, for now, just encapsulate for us when you think we will move on. Obviously, Usyk was there. The fight is definitely signed, yeah? Okay. Just tell me finally, and it's been great to see you today, your feeling about having been here in Saudi Arabia, how keen His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is to continue boxing here, to develop boxing here, to become the new go-to destination for big fight nights.
His Excellency is first and foremost,
He's a boxing nut.
boxing fan.
Yeah,
He knows his fighters.
Yeah.
And he knows his boxing history. And what he's done, because it's under his leadership with his team, and obviously the Crown Prince, they have got behind this in a big way, got behind boxing. Their particular sellers out, Seller being their first promotion with us.
Yeah.
What a baptism.
Yeah.
The best show,
Yeah.
best promotion,
Bar none.
promotion, looking at it.
In your
visually.
career?
Yeah, visually.
No question,
bar none.
yeah.
I'm not saying the greatest fighter, but I'm saying the best
promotion, yeah.
Bar none. Fabulous card as well, great fights and so forth. What he's done is changed the whole dynamic of the sport. This will be the go-to destination for boxing. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
What beautiful, beautiful people. They've been lovely. It's been everybody's been so welcoming with us. The Riyadh, how clean it is, puts us to shame in the UK. No litter, nothing.
It's a different society.
It's a different society.
But this is
it's a respectful society.
Yes, yes.
And and I can't tell you how much you get a decision and it's a yes. The kitchen sink, the cooker, the fridge, everything's thrown at it to make sure it works. They get behind it and do it. We started here, ground zero, flattened earth. 90 days, was it 90 days?
60.
To build an
60.
arena.
60 days.
To build an arena.
Great arena.
Put an event together
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
This is phenomenal, to say the least.
Well, Frank, that's it now for the Battle of the Baddest podcast with Frank Warren. Thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure this week, and I can only reiterate what you said about the attitude, the activities, the ambience, and the way people are here. It's so welcoming. It's been the Battle of the Baddest, but it's been one of the best weeks. I think we will look back professionally.
It's been the battle of the baddest, but it's been the good of the goodest. It's been phenomenal.
That's very well put. Thank you very much for your time today. Cheers. Thank you. Well, that's it for the Battle of the Baddest podcast, episode 11. I'm going to go run and get a plane back to the UK. Next week, on the final episode of the series, I'm going to get a group of people together to talk about the dust settling. Where does Tyson Fury go from here? How will he assess his own performance? When will we hear from him about it? Obviously, he's in recovery at the moment. Francis Ngannou, look how his stock's risen. Will he fight Deontay Wilder next? When will Fury and Usyk take place? Will it be early next year? What about, by the way, Francis Ngannou fighting Zhili Zheng? What a fight that would be. I'm going to sit down next week and chat about all these things with a group of characters in the UK. You've been watching the Battle of the Baddest podcast, episode 11. I'll see you back in the UK.